guys doing? I'm live on my front porch. I just want to do a music lesson again. This time sitting down, this time on my front porch, and this time I have my, if I need it, I have this blackboard, but it's reversed for you guys. If I write it where I can read it, you guys, it's backwards for you guys, so I may not use it. We'll see. To make it so you guys can read it, I have to flip the camera around and make it go the other direction, and then you guys can see it fine, and I can't see what you're saying. Anyway, so here's this. I'm going to go on about music theory, about the circle of fifths, key signatures, and modes. So put on your thinking hats if you want to. First of all, if you have no sharps and flats, it's implied in Western music you mean the white notes on a piano. You just do. To say a black note takes a sharp or a flat or a double sharp or a double flat. Or it takes, yeah. You don't, the black keys are not, are either sharps, flats, or double sharps or double flats. They're not, you know, pure notes. They will always have a flat or sharp or double flat or double sharp. So the white keys are what's denoted by a key signature that says nothing. If it's in the key of C major, so to speak, no sharps, no flats, it's just white keys. Now that's cool, because it doesn't say what white key has to be the main key. If I pick C for the root of the white keys, then I get the circle of fifths for C major scale. And C is on top because C is in, yeah, I have the sound on, don't I? For the in the white keys, C makes a major scale. So if you want major scales, put C at the top for no sharps and no flats. Or, in other words, it's C major in the white keys. I didn't fix that, did I? Of course. Okay. Yeah. So if you mean major scales, then C's at the top, and C's no sharps and no flats, and clockwise around the circle of fifths is each step means you have to make a sharp on that note to have a major scale. And if you go counterclockwise down the circle of fifths, each step you make, you have to flat a note to make a major scale. Yeah, so that's what's commonly taught. And if you want minor scales, pick A, because A is the key. In the white notes, A is the root of the natural minor scale in the white notes. In other words, minor sixth interval, minor seventh interval, and minor third interval. Or in other words, the 1 chord is A minor, the 4 chord is D minor, the 5 chord is E minor. So all 1, 4, and 5 chords are minor. Just as in C, the 3 chords are C, F, and G, and they're all major in the key of C major. And so if you want minor keys, then put A at the top, and any clockwise movement, each step is a sharp you have to do, and each counterclockwise movement is a flat you have to do. But that's only 2 out of 7. What if you want to do Lydian modes? Then put F at the top, and then any clockwise motion around the circle of fifths means you have to add 1 sharp to get a Lydian on that note, and any step counterclockwise on the circle of fifths from F at the top means you have to put a flat in there to get a Lydian mode. Let's talk about that for a second. Okay, let's start with this. If F's at the top, then the one movement to the right is C, and as you can see, if you start in C, to have a C Lydian, you have to have an F sharp, which is 1 sharp, which is just what I just said. Going from F Lydian to C Lydian requires 1 sharp, and that sharp is F sharp, because in C major or C Ionian, the fourth interval is from C to F, and that's a perfect fourth. You need an augmented fourth to make a Lydian mode. So you must put an F sharp in the C major scale to make it from a C major scale to a C Lydian mode, which is consistent with what I just said. With B flat Lydian, what about that one? Let's do that sucker. No, yeah, B flat Lydian. Wow, yeah. Okay, let's do that. All right, so what is B flat Lydian? Okay, let's do it like this. The mode on B in white keys is Locrian. So if you're in all white keys, and you start on B, you have a B Locrian mode. That sharpening every note in a Locrian mode gives a B. Sharpening every note in a B Locrian mode gives you a B Lydian mode. Because B and F are on opposite sides of the circle of fifths. So F's up here, as in the natural Lydian mode. B's down here, the tritone away. If F gets flat, if one step you need to sharp one note, 2 steps you have to sharp 2 notes, 3 steps you have to sharp 3 notes, 4 steps you have to sharp 4 notes, 5 steps you have to sharp 5 notes, and 6 steps you have to sharp 6 notes. So from F, C is 1, F Lydian is no sharps, no flats. C is 1 sharp, C Lydian is 1 sharp, D Lydian is 2 sharps. Wait, no, sorry, I did that wrong. F Lydian is at the top, C Lydian is 1 sharp, G Lydian is 2 sharps, D Lydian is 3 sharps, A Lydian is 4 sharps, B Lydian is 5 sharps. F Lydian is no sharps, no flats. C Lydian is 1 sharp, G Lydian is 2 sharps, D Lydian is 3 sharps, A Lydian is 4 sharps, A Lydian is, okay. F Lydian is no sharps, no flats. C Lydian is 1 sharp, G Lydian is 2 sharps, D Lydian is 3 sharps, A Lydian is 4 sharps, E Lydian is 5 sharps, and B Lydian is 6 sharps. Okay, so B Lydian is 6 sharps because you had to go 6 steps around clockwise around the circle of fifths from F to B. And F is no sharps, no flats, so each step, 6 steps around the circle of fifths brings it that a B Lydian mode has 6 sharps. It means to get a B Lydian mode, take a B and sharp every note in it. But that also means if you take a B Locrian mode and flat the B, you also get a B flat Lydian mode, because flattening the root is the same as sharpening all the other 6 degrees in the scale, except that you have a different starting point. In other words, if I have B Locrian and I sharp the A, the C, the D, the E, the F, and the G, I get a B Lydian. But if I start with B Locrian, I flat the B to B flat, I get a B flat Lydian. Because compared to B flat, flattening the B from B flat raises by definition, by symmetry, raises all 6 degrees, or makes it start on B flat. So a B Locrian mode with a B flat is a B flat Lydian mode. So again, if F is the top, F is 12 o'clock, then B flat is 1 flat. It takes 1 flat to make a B flat Lydian mode, and that's from B to B flat, and you have a B flat Lydian mode. And F is no sharps, no flats if you're doing Lydian mode. C is 1 sharp because you need an F sharp to make a C Lydian mode. So far, not only am I right about 1 sharp, 1 flat being each direction, but it's the right note. Sharps always start with F, flats always start with B. So for C to have one sharp, it needs to be F sharp. And sure enough, a C major scale with F sharp, with an F sharp, is a C Lydian mode, one step one step clockwise. And similarly, so for B flat Lydian, for you have a B flat Lydian, you needed to flat one note, which is the B flat, and that is the first note that gets flatted. Flatting the B flat in the white keys gives you a B flat Lydian mode. What's another way of looking at that? Both those two things. Let's do that. So let's do this. If I say C Lydian and I want to say C, and want to make that C. I mean, if I say F, I'm just all over the place. I'm not used to saying all this because nobody does this. Nobody puts another note besides C and A at the top of the circle fifth that I know of until me, but who knows? What do I know? F is at the top. So F Lydian, if you want to make C Lydian, you need an F sharp. I'm going to figure that out. Let me think. Yeah, C Lydian would need an F sharp. And in C Lydian, can you believe this? In C Lydian, F sharp would be the Locrian mode because C, D, E, F, F sharp would be the sharp 4 degree. And the sharp 4 degree of a Lydian mode is the Locrian mode. They're tritone apart. So let's look at that. If I'm in C Lydian, I would have one F sharp, and the tritone away from C would be a Locrian mode. Well, let's see if that's true. Okay, C major has C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Take the fourth and sharp it, so C, D, E, F, sharp the fourth, which is F to F sharp. Now, according to my theory, if I have C Lydian, I should have F sharp Locrian. Well, sure enough, I do, because if I start with F Lydian, which is what the white notes have, and I sharp the F, that's the same as flatting all the other 6 notes. So sharpening the F to F, from F to F sharp gives you an F sharp Locrian mode. Because for F sharp, relative to F sharp, you flattened every other note. Because when you raised one note from F to F sharp, all the others move down by a half step. So an F, if you start with an F Lydian mode and raise the F to F sharp, you get an F sharp Locrian mode. Just like when you start with if you start with a B Locrian mode and flat the B from B to B flat, you get a B flat Lydian mode. Flattening the root always sharps every other note relative to where the root ends up, and sharpening the root always flattens every other note relative to wherever the root ends up. So it's kind of like they all say still, but one moves down, that means they all moved up. If they all say still and one moves up, that means they all moved down relative to that root. So there's that. Anything else? I'm not done yet. Of course I'm not done yet. It'd be too easy. Let's look at this. Let's see. F sharp. So if F is Lydian, F is at 12 o'clock. See if there's anything I'm missing here. Anyway, let me think. Well, let's go on to the next one. So we've done F, we've done C, we've done A. Let's do G. Let's put G at 12 o'clock. So Mixolydian is the mode that each root implies, and G Mixolydian is no sharps, no flats. That would mean one sharp to the right, which would be C Lydian, would have to have one flat. Sure enough, it does. B flat. A C major scale with a B flat, and it makes a C major scale with a flat 7 in it, which makes it a C mixed Lydian mode. And then also one step. I didn't do that right, did I? Okay, G is Lydian. G is mixed Lydian. Okay, let's do this. G is mixed Lydian. If I go right, I go to D. That's clockwise on a circle of fifths. And to make a D mixed Lydian, I need an F sharp. Sure enough, that's true because D in the white keys is Dorian, which the third is minor because it's an F. The third is an F, which is a minor third above D. But if you make the F an F sharp, you get a D. You get a D Dorian with a major third, which becomes a D mixed Lydian. So sure enough, that's everything's good. G is at the top. Like I said, D is 1 sharp, which is F sharp. The other direction, counterclockwise, C would be, C is counterclockwise 1 step from G. C would need 1 flat to be a mixed Lydian, and sure enough, a C major scale with a B flat is a C mixed Lydian mode. So that all works out. Either go right clockwise and take, say, D and make it an F sharp to make it from a D Dorian to a D mixed Lydian, or go from G to counterclockwise to C Ionian and make it 1 flat to make it from C Ionian to C mixed Lydian. The same thing works all the way around. And then Dorian would have D in the middle. So Dorian is one of my favorite modes. It's the name of the guy that stabbed me in the back 31 years ago too. D's in the middle. Clockwise would be E. No, it wouldn't. It would be A. D is no sharps, no flats. Therefore, A would be 1 sharp. And sure enough, an A Aeolian mode needs an F sharp, which is the major 6th degree, to make it into an A Dorian mode. So sure enough, an A Dorian mode, an A Aeolian mode with a major 6, i.e. an F sharp, makes it an A Dorian mode. So far we're good. Take D back to the beginning. D is at the top. If you go counterclockwise, you have to flatten a note. Well, sure enough, if I go counterclockwise, I get G. I don't. Yeah, I do. I get G. Yeah, I get G if I go counterclockwise. And to make a G Dorian mode, I need to flat the third of the G, which is a B note. So if I use a B flat in all white notes other than the B flat starting on G, I get a G Dorian mode, because a G is mixed Lydian in the white notes, and a mixed Lydian is a Dorian mode with a major third. So therefore, if I flat the third of the mixed Lydian mode, I get a Dorian mode. The third of the G is the B. Therefore, if I make a B flat, I get a G Dorian mode. So that works so far. We've already done A. Let's do E and B. If I start with E at the top, that's for Phrygian. So if I go clockwise, I would get B. I get B. And to make that a B Phrygian, I would need a sharper note. Sure enough, B is Locrian, which has a flat 5. So to make the Locrian mode into a Phrygian mode, you have to sharp the flat 5 from a flat 5 to perfect fifth. The flat 5 of a B Locrian mode is F. If I sharp the F to F sharp, I get a perfect fifth above the F, which now gives me a B Phrygian mode instead of a B Locrian mode. So sure enough, I'm right. And then if the E is at the top again, E is Phrygian mode. I go counterclockwise. I would go to A Aeolian. And what do I got to do to A Aeolian mode to get an A Phrygian mode? I've got to flat the second. What's the second in Aeolian mode is B. How do I make it flat? Make it B flat. So an A Aeolian mode with a B flat makes an A Phrygian mode. So, and then the last one is the Locrian. If you want to make Locrians, put B at the top. Now, any step clockwise, you have to sharpen a note to make it a Locrian. Any step counterclockwise, you have to flatten a note to make it a Locrian. Okay, let's do that. If I'm in B Locrian, if I go clockwise, I get F sharp. So to get F sharp Locrian, I need to flat 1 note. What is that? No, you need to sharp 1 note. God, I'm so stupid. B is Locrian. To go clockwise is F sharp. You need 1 sharp in F sharp. You need, and to get an F sharp Locrian takes 1 sharp. What is that sharp? Well, F in all white notes, F is a Lydian mode. If I sharpen the F to F sharp, I get an F sharp Locrian mode, because that brings down all the other 6 notes by comparison, by relative relationship. and it becomes an F sharp Locrian mode. It's the same as an F, because I took an F Lydian mode, which has 6 notes out here, raise the F sharp, it flattens every note toward it by comparison, and that becomes an F sharp Locrian mode. So sure enough, F sharp Locrian mode is 1 sharp, which is F sharp. In other words, all the white keys with an F sharp, starting on F sharp, makes an F sharp Locrian mode. Okay, now so back to B again. Go counterclockwise. I go to E. If I want to make an E Locrian mode, I need to do 1 flat from the E note, from the E scale, E mode of the white notes. What is that going to do? Well, I have all white notes. Starting on E is E Phrygian. But if I want to make E Locrian, I got to flat the 5th of that. And what the 5th of E is E, F, G, A. The 5th of E is B. So to get an E Locrian mode, I need to flat the 5th, which is B. So an E Phrygian mode with a B flat is an E Locrian mode, and sure enough, my theory works. Locrian at the top, B Locrian, 1 sharp to the right, one major, 1 perfect 5th to the right. F sharp Locrian has 1 sharp. Back to B in the center, B Locrian. E Locrian has 1 flat. So there's that little bit of schoolness, and I like knowing all that. I might do a jam tonight, and if I do, I'm going to use all this information as I shred. It's good to know your music theory so you know what you're trying to create. You're not just throwing darts at a dartboard blindly. You know what you're doing. Anyway, have a good peace, love, and rock and roll.